Come on, baby, take a leap of faith. We got love that's
왜냐면 두더지가 너무 많이 다녀서 풀을 키웠더니 이렇게 됐어요. 그리고 생강, 가지. 와. 남겨둘 거예요. 이거를 잘 익은 거예요, 이거. 안 익은 거.
좋아. 우리 잘.
응? 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 아, 이뻐. 그렇게 많진 않아. 시금치. 우와. 맛있어.
Golden days drifting far away. Light is leaving town. Colors fade, but I'm thinking we stay just for a little while. Let's lose track of time. Darling,
느려.
stay
기다려.
for a little longer while I hold your time. We'll wait, so just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing I wear is colder, but the day's not over yet.
숟가락.
Summer nights, watch them go by
끝.
as we fight off the cold. Then you're tight, you know just what I'm thinking. I don't want this moment to go. No, I don't want this moment to go. Let's lose track of time. Darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time. We'll wait, so just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing in our way is colder, but the day's not over yet.
끝. 두 개 중에서 이거는 이쪽에 뿌리고 이거는 밸런서를 떼어서 뿌릴 거예요.